So we're Plastic at Bay. We're a community interest company based in Durness on the very northwest tip of the Scottish Highlands. We started off as a beach cleaning group, but then we just picked up so much plastic and we're putting it into landfill that we very quickly wanted to come up with solutions for that. So to deal with that, then we decided to make kind of low tech plastic recycling machines. And that's what we're doing at the moment in our lab.
So very simply, there is a lot of plastic washing up here and it needs to be cleaned. And volunteers and the fact that we're in a really remote and the operations of cleanup can be quite complicated. You know, clearly the plastic goes much faster than what you can organize clean up with, you know, because if you ask people coming every 3 months, they will come. If you ask them coming every week, they won't. So I've calculated that, for example, Barnley Bay needed to be cleaned at least once a week. And it's actually more about every 4 days, so that plastic doesn't accumulate. So we're trying to reduce or to counterbalance plastic accumulation in the area, in the ecosystem. And the only way at the moment we have is cleaning up. This costs a lot of money. You need equipment, you need to pay people, you need to have the time, you need to do research because there's no point in cleaning everywhere at the same time, you see. So how do you generate money where you have to deal with pollution? And the only thing you can do, because there's no funding available for cleaning, is to recycle, is to create value from waste. That's it. So the plastic lab was to really, the intention was to create value from waste.
Over the years of kind of dealing with plastic pollution, we really want to emphasize on looking for solutions. And because we pick up the majority of the plastic that we pick up as fishing ropes and nets, we kind of look to see why was this a problem and where were they coming from. And when we really researched the area and looked into it, we found that there isn't really any government scheme or any infrastructure within harbours to take old fishing ropes and nets. We recently did a survey with our local harbour, and they, just from the fishermen surveyed, that they dispose of around 40 tonnes of old fishing gear a year, and that just goes to landfill. So the project we're working on at the moment is with GN upgrading our extrusion machine to make fence posts. We want to move into our local harbour, and from there to start recycling the fishing ropes and nets there, and also continue our work beach cleaning and to recycle ocean plastic.
What pushed me to value the waste, because I was like, I am just taking plastic from the ocean and putting it to a hole so that our great-grandson, daughter will dig this to get all the value of it, because these are basically hydrocarbons in a form, in a stored form, to use them and stop also them polluting the environment. So it was just an action of not being part of this system where people think that because it's thrown away and they don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Hey you, lover of the outdoors, sending it, topping out, exploring, getting dirty. Good dirty. While we're getting dirty, our money is too. Really dirty. While you're doing this, our pensions, massive pots of public money, are being invested in climate-destroying activities. The money we're saving for the future is actually destroying it, often without our knowledge. Despite 75% of councils declaring a climate emergency, their pensions alone invest £10 billion in fossil fuels. But there's something big we can do to protect the places we love. And it's small, it's simple. Help us move this money and ask your local council to divest now.
Do you know what it's in 104, so I was thinking two just in case one mucks up.
Yeah.
What are you on this morning, sir? Oh, that's just coming.
We tend to talk about higher powers as being like a religious thing. You know, we talk about higher being, whether that's God or, you know, whatever. But for me, that higher power is literally Mother Nature and my community. You know, they are my higher beings. Right. So, I've got a bag. I guess, like, really for me, my activism didn't start as a job, but I don't think anyone who actually does care about it does. It's actually cooler to give a shit than not to give a shit. It's kind of been like this all season, and that snow there has only arrived in the last couple of days. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it should be to ground level now, anyways, especially here because we're a bit higher. This season has just been diabolical. My local community is really struggling right now because there is no snow. This is the first time it snowed, and I think since early January. And it's just, you know, it's the start of March. It's not normal.
And that's one of the things that we have, isn't it? Is these sudden changes, these extremes from last week to this week. It's just madness. It's really hard to get your head around it, to be honest. In my time here, which is probably 25 years or so, it just seems to be more and more apparent, these rapid changes. And we're not talking about, you know, next week it's going to be, we're talking in the next few hours. So one day we can have full-on winter with -7, and the next day it'll be really warm. It's these short-term effects, these dynamic effects are the symptoms, but people aren't quite realizing that this is what global warming means.
And hey, I'm going to meet Ryan from Stop Climate Chaos at 2. So it's really important for me to relay the experiences and what we're experiencing here to other people with their realms of influence, say down in Edinburgh or London or Manchester or wherever it is. You know, you've kind of got to go and see the whites of people's eyes. It kind of combine everyone's voices and what we sense. So, my name's Lauren. How are you guys doing? Thanks so much for turning up. I'm confident in our outdoor community that we will start applying the pressure and starting the conversation and starting a constructive conversation about it. I think that's something that our community does really, really well.
What's this building?
This is the Scottish Parliament, so we try and influence this as much as we can. And I think as snowboarders, as skiers, as climbers, as mountain bikers, we see the world differently and we see it in a unique way. Like, we're in these spaces, we're on the mountains, we're in the forest, we're on the water, and we have to relate our experiences back to institutions like this. If we destroy our very playgrounds where we get to connect and we get so much from, then we lose our shared identity, we lose our shared values. And what we're asking governments to do, and what we're asking our communities to do, the people that don't care about this stuff, is to be these sort of wild spaces allies. I used to do sort of a scheme up at Cairngorm where we'd get some of the high school leavers, or they're in their last year, and we'd come up and, you know, it'd be like, you guys got enough clothes on? Because it's going to get emotionally cold. So yeah, to have feedback like that, like wind, cold, everything, it's quite invigorating, isn't it? And it makes you feel, for me, it makes me feel quite small and connected to something that's way more powerful than I am.
So the freeze-thaw, freeze cycle that happens so often in Scotland in the winter is like a metaphor, an allegory for the lessons that you learn in life.
Last week it was 18 degrees, I have a t-shirt on and shorts on, and now look at it.
We get lots of chances to learn, lots of extremes to learn from.
I don't really think about myself as a sort of an environmental activist. I kind of just think about somebody who cares about living in this space, living in the Highlands, contributing to Highland culture. And I feel really privileged to have the hills where they are, to have the community that I do, because I don't know if I was going to analyse it, it really has been a massive part in making and moulding me who I am today. You know, this is a pretty unique, well, place. So we should kind of keep it that way.
I can see that the way we are living our lives is not good for the world. It's not a good relationship. I would like to see that changing. Velocity is a place where you can come and eat and meet people and learn how to fix your bike.
This is very natural, and everyone likes bikes, likes the countryside, likes just getting out.
It began as an idea between myself and my friend Penny. The reason we knew each other was because we'd gone on a couple of cycles together through a mutual friend, and we both loved cycling and we really loved how it made us feel. We also liked making big dinners for people, and we could see that that really connected people.
It's just that whole process of cycling for maybe 70 miles in a day, and the only thing you want to do at the end of the day is sit down, have a chat, have a coffee. We don't close our doors to anyone. It's anyone that wants to learn or just wants to be part of something.
I was an electrical engineer, but I was always driven to working more with people and worked with community groups. And I was so inspired by the things that they were doing and the way that they were connected with the people in their community that I wanted some of that for myself.
It's a job satisfaction, I think, of teaching people, them learning new things, you're learning new things as well.
The more you come in, the more you get to know folk and you feel part of the place. And it's nice to sort of have somewhere like that to come.
Climate Challenge Fund was the first thing that we got, and we used to go to a park in Inverness, set up all of our tools, and now the Climate Challenge Fund enables us partly to be here, but also to try and generate our own revenue.
Because of this place, a lot of people have started to cycle more.
It's enabling people to get out there on their bike. It's benefiting the environment, it's benefiting the children, it's benefiting the community.
Cycling is such a natural connection. That's the thing that Velocity really is. It's like a place where you can come and you feel like, yeah, this is kind of cool. I feel like people love me here. It's nice.
Hello, I am Councillor Nichol from the Murray Council, and I'd like to congratulate Highland Council on their virtual climate change conference. Back in June 2019, the Murray Council declared a climate change emergency, and I was appointed as the elected member Climate Change Champion. I chaired a working group that oversaw the development of a climate change strategy and a climate change action plan. The strategy was passed in March 21, and that means that we are now committed to reduce our emissions to net zero by 2030. Climate change is also a priority in our corporate plan.
Hello, I'm Rod Lovey, the Principal Climate Change Strategy Officer at Murray Council, and I'm tasked with progressing the actions in the strategy. I'd like to take the opportunity to explain a little bit about the climate change strategy that Murray Council has adopted and tell you about some of the work that is progressing. In essence, the strategy aims to support a just transition to a low-carbon economy and allow the Murray Council to be carbon neutral by 2030, while supporting an ongoing reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from homes and businesses in the Council area as a whole. The Council's vision for tackling climate change is summarised as a resource-efficient, carbon-neutral council that works with partners to mitigate the worst effects of climate change to create a resilient, biodiverse, fair and more sustainable future for everyone within Murray. As part of the strategy, Murray Council will work to retain, protect and enhance biodiversity across Murray. It will ensure that the Council and its partners are better prepared to deal with the current and future impacts and consequences of climate change, including flooding and potential other weather-related aspects. The Council will identify ongoing activities that the Council contributes to climate change mitigation and adaptation, and will seek to embed climate change action throughout the entire organisation and ensure this becomes integral to the operation of the Council. To support this, we will ensure that the climate change agenda is acknowledged in departmental service planning and integrated into the Council decision-making processes. This includes activities as ensuring the climate change impacts are included in papers going to committees, and that the carbon budget for each department is calculated and reduced. The Murray Council collects the waste for the county, and currently we recycle around 60% of our waste. This makes Murray the fourth highest rate of recycling for councils in Scotland. Currently, residual waste in Murray is landfilled, but from next year, Murray Council, Aberdeenshire and Aberdeen City Councils will open a new energy from waste plant in Aberdeen to burn this residual waste and produce heat for a district heating scheme in Torry, Aberdeen. Data shows that up to 30% of households in Torry may be or are at risk of fuel poverty, and the low-cost energy from the energy from waste plant has the potential to reduce fuel poverty in the area. The energy from waste plant will also result in a considerable reduction in carbon emissions compared to the current practice of landfilling our waste. Murray Council will seek to continue to develop new policies and actions to address any gaps in our approach to tackling climate change. This includes progressing our active travel strategy, continuing our school estate improvements, and our local energy efficiency housing plans. We are also integrating climate change issues into our purchasing policies. This includes currently sourcing local meat, vegetables, dairy and bakery products for our school dinners, and have phased out single-use plastic cutlery in our schools. We will be actively engaging with our suppliers and contractors to ensure that they are carrying out actions to also reduce their carbon emissions. We are currently developing a number of action plans to allow us to develop a route map to achieve net zero by 2030. These include strategies to decarbonise our Moray Council fleet vehicles, to decarbonise our council building stock, and to encourage hydrogen rollout in Moray Council and in the wider Moray economy. We are also planning the rollout of electric vehicle charging points in streets and public spaces. We recognise that to achieve net zero, we will have to reduce our emissions as much as possible, and recognise that we will still have to offset some of our unavoidable carbon emissions. We will integrate plans for tree planting and renewable energy generation into our route map for net zero to assist in offsetting these carbon emissions. However, the work we are doing in the Council is also to work proactively with the wider community to promote and facilitate local action on climate change. This strategy is hoped to be an inspiration to our community planning partners, businesses, and everyone who lives or works in the area. We all have an important part to play in ensuring the Moray area is a safer, fairer, healthier and greener place for the future generations to come. Thank you.
You just got to use your imagination.
God never said I'll spoil the atmosphere.
I don't see it as an issue. That's my problem.
There is a lot of pressure to fit into categories.
There's a word called the American dream. That's all it is.
The greed economy is killing us.
Some people might think, it's just taking folk on a bike ride, right? The fact is, it's so much more. The bike is just a tool. We're an outreach-based project. We go and contact charities, social enterprises, and we've also worked with some parts of the NHS. And we deliver a 6-week, totally tailored cycling programme for a group of their clients. We find out what they want to achieve, we find out their goals, maybe what they've been struggling with, and look at ways we can overcome this. Isolation, they struggle with their mental health.
You can have people with bipolar, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia. And they lose quite a lot of their skills through mental health illness. They kind of stop attending activities, stop attending work.
The essence of what the Bespoke Project does is help people just believe in themselves, feel more connected to their bodies, foster a more compassionate relationship with themselves, feel more connected with their community, with people around them and the land. And we do that all through cycling.
There's been days when I've felt really mentally unwell and I just can't be bothered with anything and I just don't really feel like talking really. But if you get on the bike and start cycling, say Jasmine or Shirley starts chatting to you, after a while you start to feel a bit better about yourself.
We are facilitating a space where people see what they already have within them. We just help provide an environment where they can see their own worth.
When they're sat at home and they're going over and over in their head about how low they are and how anxious they feel, and they're not going out and they haven't been out that week and they haven't been out the house and they haven't seen anybody apart from maybe us going in to see them once a week or whatever, just to be able to leave almost how they feel at the door of a session and just to be able to go and enjoy that couple of hours without all this other stuff going through their head. And it really, really works.
Organise your thoughts better. If you're sitting in your house and you're worried about stuff, it all just gets jumbled up in your head. Just get on the bike and kind of switch your brain off and just kind of be in the moment where it's nice and peaceful, much more freer.
With our client group, they're anxious and feeling quite low, and for them it's a big step to go into a group situation. The way that the Velocity have linked it into the organisation, it's kind of bridged that gap. They had that safety net of we were there also, whereas they might not have approached Velocity themselves.
When I first started going on those groups, I'd get really, really tired and feel like I can't go on anymore. But now I'm a lot better and now I can go up hills really fast. Sometimes I can go up a hill and I'm not even really that out of breath, really, like I used to be.
Keep going, John. Keep going. Oh, Vicky, no bother for you. Yeah. John, you can do it. Keep going, just focus on us. That's it. Keep going. You're almost there.
You can feel that burning sensation in your legs.
Hey, that was a brilliant effort, guys.
And you're getting stronger as you keep going.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't sure if we were going to do one hill. You just did 4. It's flat from now on.
Sleeping can be a massive problem for our client group, are eating regularly and healthily. And they always say that their sleep that night has been really, really good. And wanting to eat a nice meal at the end of the day. Some of them are quite emotionally tired at the end of it as well, because they're facing their fears and they're actually challenging them and conquering them in a way as well.
I mean, how often do we do things that really, really, truly scare us? If I'm being really honest, it's not that often, and it takes so much courage.
They make the sessions so that they're achievable for people.
Oh, John, I can see you trying. You're doing great. Look.
We just try and provide a really nurturing, safe space for them to take risks safely.
You can't just be in a world of your own, and you can't like be distracted or think about other things. You need to be in the moment.
For some people, attending when they're feeling low, it's a real challenge for them to be able to come out and do a group session. So the sense of achievement for them to have been able to actually do that is really quite big. The girls do kind of bike checks and things like that with them and chat and do different stuff. So it takes their mind off, oh my goodness, I'm in a group setting and I've got to get on my bike and I've got to do this and oh, it's physical activity. It takes their mind off that.
Depression and anxiety can make you go inwards. Outside with a group, you're seeing community members around you, you're noticing others.
The girls are very good at kind of stopping and, oh, look over here, it's a nice viewpoint, or let's stop here for a nice cup of coffee and a nice biscuit, which the guys love. And it breaks it up as well. And then we'll stop for a chat, have a look at the map. How's everybody feeling now that these skills are coming on?
Sometimes you can spend almost a whole week, you know, not really being around other people. And you think, oh, by the time I see people at the cycle group, I'm not going to even remember how to talk to people. But by the time you get out there and you start chatting with people and everyone's kind of on the same boat as you are, you feel a little less alone.
When we cycle past people on the canal, it's just natural to give people a wave, and they will respond by a wave back or hello, how are you doing? And you're striking up conversations so effortlessly. And some of the individuals we've worked with have not had that sense of connection for a real long time. So knowing that you can just go out your front door, cycle up and down there, and you'll be acknowledged and seen by others is really quite powerful.
I think it's a bit safer getting about going out on your own without having to worry about things.
Connecting to your environment again. Some people have lived here for all their lives and they're going new places that they've never been before, or maybe only went a few times when they were children. We had one participant, you could just see those fond memories rush back and that real gut sense of connection. Yeah, this is where I am and this is where I belong.
Velocity girls are so welcoming. They make the sessions fun. All the participants have said the girls are so nice.
They're always so friendly that it's something to look forward to.
They're just able to nurture the participants and kind of identify, maybe this person needs more help, or maybe we need to do this, and we'll tailor the sessions around everybody, and then they make sure that everybody's included.
They're very supportive, very patient. You know, they don't get annoyed if you're a bit slower than everyone else, or if you're not very confident. If it wasn't for how friendly the staff are, I probably wouldn't come out.
I think they find it easier to talk within that setting as well, or maybe after it. We had one particular client, we thought that they may come to the initial session or maybe one or two after that, because they didn't really communicate with people very much, and they found it quite difficult to communicate, but they attended every single session, and then even actually attending the velocity cycle to health in the community themselves, which is exactly what the velocity in-reach into our organisation was all about, was to kind of say to the guys, right, we're actually here, this is what we do, this is what we offer, we're going to give you a wee taster, and then hopefully you'll feel more confident to be able to link into the community. And they've got their cafe, you know, and they offer the workshops there.
How are you all feeling after that? Good, thanks.
Velocity really good to kind of do this check-in at the start of a session and then at the end of a session where everybody kind of says how they felt.
Yeah, does anyone got wobbly legs? No. A wee bit like you've been on the ship or something? I was a wee bit before I was on it wobbly, but it seemed okay. You feel better now? Yeah.
And that's really amazing because when you see them, especially at the end of a session, they're just like amazing and best time ever. I remember one girl was doing thick snow, having her picnic afterwards, and it was their last session, and this girl said, that is the first thing I have enjoyed for a long, long time.
It just feels like you've conquered something, like even if it's just like something in yourself.
And not only are the individuals that we're working with cycling beyond our 6 weeks, the staff we've worked with are starting cycling groups with their organisations. So they're getting their cycle ride leader training so that they can then provide regular weekly sessions with the people that they're working with to socialise, but also to get around and maybe pick up their shopping or do some jobs at the same time. There just seems so much opportunity for good. We've got this structure in place, this tried and tested method, and we're seeing the results. And sometimes it's not even the words that people voice. So often people start and their body language is hunched over, you know, you're in that self-protection mode, you're not feeling confident. Well, the way this person left was with his shoulders out wide, his chest out, and with the biggest smile on his face.
It's still a good feeling if you've gone out and you've gone on the road and you've navigated everything well, and then you manage to get to where you want to go to and you manage to come back. Even if it's not a big journey, it feels like an accomplishment.
It's amazing once you can achieve something, no matter how small it is, something that you just didn't think you could, and something where it really triggered that fear or anxiety within you. If you can do that once, you can do it again, and you can access that feeling of confidence and power and strength again. You know it's within you.
With the velocity, it gives them that initial confidence to be able to then go and try, okay, maybe I can go and look at volunteering opportunities now, work volunteering, college, all these things, because you've had this kind of supported environment.
We're seeing that the rise of mental ill health, as well as living in an environmental emergency, just seems such a simple answer to such a big problem. There are people out there right now sitting at homes, you know, unfortunately have maybe lost hope in the future. And what we can bring to people is hope for the future, to re-evaluate what you can achieve, who you are, what you can do. And it would be absolutely amazing to bring this to more people.
Hi, I'm Michael Golding, Chief Executive of Visit Inverness Loch Ness, and I'm here to tell you what we are doing about the climate emergency. As a sector and destination organisation, representing more than 450 tourism businesses across a 1,200 square mile area, our role is to help facilitate the necessary change in how we do business and support our visitors' transition to low carbon travel. To achieve this, we're working to connect our members with funding, support and guidance while highlighting best practice examples. With the support of Highlands and Islands Enterprise, we are also appointing 2 full-time destination development managers. This will increase our engagement with communities and allow us to lead new sustainable projects across the area. We also appointed the first Loch Ness Ranger earlier this year with partners at Highland Council, and this role has worked with visitors and local people to support responsible visits and use of our destination. We will also act to ensure the needs of businesses and visitors are represented as a key stakeholder in active and future projects such as Inverness Castle, Spirit of the Highlands, to deliver a sustainable future for our tourism industry. We also have a unique role in our destination. As a lead communicator with visitors, we aim to achieve 2 things. We can promote responsible low-carbon visits to and around our area, and second, we can showcase the work already happening across our destination, such as our world-leading renewable energy sector and key projects such as the River Ness Hydro. By doing this, we hope visitors will recognise our area as a leader in tackling the climate emergency. In addition to its role within the tourism sector and our visitors, Visit Inverness Loch Ness is committed to leading by example. We have actively tracked our carbon emissions for a number of years, and we will continue to actively reduce our operational emissions whilst looking to offset the remaining balance. We have agreed that the climate emergency is to be a regular item at all of our industry-led board meetings and are committed to taking the necessary actions over the coming years. Finally, our communications will be key, and our sustainable approach will be consistent across everything we do. One of the simplest examples that brings this together is a planned climate emergency section of our website. It will educate visitors and support responsible visits. It will celebrate our destination successes and our world-leading technology, and it will show our visitors our own organisational commitment as well. By doing this, we aim to support our sector in tackling the climate emergency while providing a strong economic recovery from the challenges of the pandemic.
Hello, my name is Rachel Martin. I'm the project manager for My Climate Path, which is a COP26 education legacy project for Scotland's young people. I'm delighted to present to you today. The My Climate Path project is linking business with education to ensure there is a COP26 legacy for our young people and their future careers in green, circular and sustainable roles across all industries. My Climate Path is a pilot project created and led by Developing the Young Workforce Glasgow, DYW Glasgow, and being delivered with DYW West and DYW Lanarkshire and East Bartonshire regional teams. This represents almost 30% of the secondary schools in Scotland. My Climate Path has a wide variety of interventions for employers to share knowledge and experiences with young people in the classroom, the community and the workplace, and working with DYW, we will connect education with business to give young people a greater understanding of green jobs and careers that have a positive impact on the climate emergency and the pathways to jobs of the future. The project is funded by Scottish Government through the Young Person's Guarantee and is supported by Glasgow Chamber of Commerce. So why is there a need for projects like My Climate Path? Well, there are 3 main reasons. Firstly, record youth unemployment. Secondly, a growth in green jobs. And thirdly, COP26 is coming to Scotland. To touch on record youth unemployment, so the graph on screen shows UK employees by age, and you can see via the blue and orange lines that since February 2020 there's been a huge drop in the employment of young people aged under 18 and 18 to 24, showing they have been hardest hit by the pandemic. The main aim of DYW is to grow links between education and industry and encourage growth in youth employment. My Climate Path is the latest intervention to be offered by DYW under the Young Person's Guarantee. Secondly, green jobs is a growth sector. The jobs of the future are going to be in green, sustainable and circular roles. As the world transitions towards a green and sustainable economy, there is growing demand for traditional green jobs, but also jobs which support all businesses and industries as they transition to more sustainable ways of working. However, young people need more information and inspiration on the careers that exist and the circular and green jobs to inform the subject choices and further study options. To ensure there is a resilient workforce ready to meet the transition to a green economy, young people need a better understanding of how employers are changing business practice, a chance to experience this through work placements, to be able to access careers at entry level after school, to have the confidence employers believe in their abilities and will support their needs, and to see that employers are invested in the future of the planet. My Climate Path aims to meet these needs. And finally, the UN Climate Change Conference COP26 is coming to Glasgow in a few weeks. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Scotland, and My Climate Path was created to ensure our young people experience a long-term benefit and legacy of COP being held in Scotland. So I've told you why a project like My Climate Path is needed, and that the aim is to connect businesses with education to establish a COP26 legacy for Scotland's young people and their future careers in green and circular roles across all industries. But how is My Climate Path doing this? Firstly, we are taking a regional approach. My Climate Path is being delivered across 3 DYW regions in the west of Scotland, Glasgow, West and LED, in which there are 8 local authorities with almost 130 secondary schools, so it's reaching almost 30% of secondary schools in Scotland and is inclusive to additional support needs schools. We're not only working with schools and education, we're also working with communities, and in particular underrepresented communities and young people who are disengaged from the education system. We are delivering My Climate Path through a range of initiatives by offering business engagement activity to young people to support them in understanding the different pathways to traditional green jobs, as well as understanding what new jobs are emerging as we address the climate emergency. We are providing opportunities for businesses of all sizes from across all industries. This is key as we recognise that all sectors need to be involved in the transition to a green economy. The list of the initiatives under My Climate Path is shown on screen, as well as some of the amazing organisations that we've teamed up with to deliver the initiatives. The initiatives are being staggered across the year, and the important thing to remember is that we're creating a legacy from COP26. I'll touch on a few of the initiatives now, but you can find out more detail at myclimatepath.scot. The Climate Heroes initiative matches an industry professional who is in a sustainable, green or circular role with each school as their climate hero. The Climate Hero offers work experience, contextualises pathways to green and circular jobs, enhances the curriculum with real-life examples and signs up to the Young Person's Guarantee. The DEC Virtual Work Experience is a bespoke week-long programme developed with Class of Your Own, where pupils will design an inclusive net zero McDonald's restaurant. We're aiming to raise the aspirations of young people to consider construction and the built environment as a valuable career path, including green jobs within the sector. The learners will discover real-world applications of STEM and have direct support from professionals including architects, quantity surveyors, interior designers and engineers. My Climate Path is also delivering a sustainable fashion festival to raise awareness of the impact of the fashion industry on the climate, inspire young people on the jobs and opportunities available in the sustainable fashion industry, and connect young people with industry experts to create a sustainable fashion legacy as a result of COP26. We have also developed a bespoke online learning package created specifically for My Climate Path by the Verdancy Group, which raises awareness of the impact of climate change and the opportunities presented. Schools and communities can access this learning package. You can find out more about the other initiatives, including the Circular Economy Challenge, We Forests, and Digital Critical Friends on the myclimatepath.scot website. To close, there are so many opportunities for young people as we enter the new green economy. Here are a few steps that businesses, educators and young people can take. I would recommend connecting with your regional DYW team. The map of the regions is shown on screen and the website is dyw.scot. And the DYW regional teams in the Highland Council region are doing lots of brilliant work highlighting the green career opportunities for young people in the region. You can visit the My Climate Path website, myclimatepath.scot, to find out lots more about the My Climate Path project and opportunities for businesses, young people and education. Please email myclimatepath@glasgowchamberofcommerce.com if you have any queries, and you can watch the excellent My Climate Path launch film on YouTube at the link shown on screen. We have in the film young Glaswegians interviewing Mary McCallan, MSP for Environment and Land Reform, an introduction to the first climate heroes, and young people's ask of the COP26 decision makers. And finally, you can feel free to add me, Rachel Martin, on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this is useful. Thank you.
What makes a green job? When thinking of green jobs, it's common to think of wind farms, solar power, and other types of renewable energy. As we all start to focus on ways to use less carbon in our homes, schools, and in workplaces, every job has the potential to be greener. A green job produces goods or provides services that directly benefit the environment. It could be a job that helps industries lower their carbon footprint. According to the recent Climate Emergency Skills Action Plan from Skills Development Scotland, green jobs are categorised as follows. Firstly, new and emerging jobs that relate directly to the move to net zero, for example, fuel cell technicians, carbon monitoring technicians, and hybrid technology engineers. Secondly, current jobs that are affected by the transition to net zero that will need their skills or knowledge enhanced, such as architects, surveyors, and environmental consultants. And thirdly, existing jobs that will be needed in greater numbers. For example, environmental lawyers, control system engineers, designers across various disciplines, such as industrial design and product design, but also jobs like plumbers, heating and ventilation engineers to install renewable technologies such as heat pumps. Why does this matter? Scotland has committed to achieving net zero carbon and greenhouse gas emissions by 2045. That's a massive target that requires us to transform the way we live and work. Put simply, net zero refers to the balance between the greenhouse gas we produce and the amount removed from the atmosphere. When we reach net zero, the amount we add is no more than the amount being taken away, which will be crucial in reducing and eventually stopping global warming. By making sure that you have access to green learning opportunities and jobs, you can be more environmentally friendly while you work. Businesses will still provide many of the same great products and services they do now, and new products and services will be created that will help us all become carbon neutral. They'll also use greener processes, energy sources, and materials to limit our impact on the environment. What about my future career opportunities? So much of the news headlines related to climate can be distressing and overwhelming, but it's important to note that we can all take action by exploring the opportunities through green skills and green jobs that are going to be needed to help organisations and Scotland adapt. Our priorities are shifting to address the climate emergency, and, according to the National Skills Agency, Skills Development Scotland, due to changing demands from consumers, there are huge implications across some of Scotland's main industries, transforming the world of work. In energy transition. The energy sector is at the forefront of the shift to net zero, with significant opportunities for technical innovations that enable decarbonisation of high-emitting sectors. Most new roles in the sector will build on existing skill sets from oil and gas, industrial research, manufacturing and civil engineering. Like many green jobs, there will be growing demand for data and digital skills. Examples are in areas such as renewables, offshore wind, hydrogen, and carbon capture. Green energy might seem the obvious choice, but there are implications and opportunities in other job families too. In construction, we'll be creating more energy-efficient homes and buildings, and the move to more sustainable construction methods will lead to many new opportunities in the sector. In manufacturing and engineering, more demand for low-carbon products that minimise negative impacts on the environment will drive increased job openings, particularly in engineering. In agriculture and land use, Scotland's agricultural and related land use represent one of the largest sources of net emissions, meaning that there will be a demand for new skills and expertise to help businesses transition. In transportation, we will need electric and low-emission vehicles across private and public transportation. This means there will be opportunities in areas like road transport, railways, domestic aviation, shipping, and aircraft support vehicles. What skills will employers be looking for? So, we've learned how the world of work is likely to change and why it matters. With this rate of change and with increases in automation, machine learning and the growth in artificial intelligence, meta skills are predicted to be in increased demand. Social intelligence is about understanding different perspectives, demonstrating empathy, collaboration, and leadership to improve communication. Innovation is about staying curious, using creativity and critical thinking to make sense of the information we're presented with, helping us to create and take advantage of opportunities. And self-management is about focusing our attention, adapting to changing circumstances, demonstrating initiative and integrity, meaning we will be productive and efficient. In addition, the green careers of the future will require enhanced digital, technical, and analytical skills. Feeling inspired but would like to know more? There's more than one way to reach the right job. Now, it's about being flexible and adapting to fit this new environment. As young people, it's important to be aware of all the options and to explore what's out there. Whether that's an apprenticeship, college, university, or launching straight into the world of work, help is out there from Skills Development Scotland Careers Advisors and online at My World of Work. To parents and carers, support is available for the important conversations with your child about their future career. Visit greenjobs.scot to discover how people can take a greener approach to their careers, or go to mykidscareer.com to explore where current and future opportunities for your child might be.